You've been told yogurt is healthy, but the truth is, most yogurts are silently destroying your gut. It's loaded with gut killers, chemicals, and sugar bombs your doctor never warned you about. The damage shows up as brain fog, bloat, and chronic inflammation. In this lesson, I'll expose the cover-up, show you which yogurts heal you, not hurt you, and give you the exact swaps to start reversing the damage now. If you eat yogurt without watching this, you're gambling with your gut and your long-term health. Here's how yogurt became the healthy hero, and then how that got hijacked. Yogurt is one of the world's oldest foods. It's milk fermented by beneficial bacteria, which turn lactose into lactic acid, giving yogurt its texture and tang. Because of fermentation, it was once associated with improved digestion, better nutrient absorption, and good bacteria in the gut. However, as nutrition policies evolved, yogurt became championed for protein, calcium, probiotics, and digestive health. And major brands and companies seized on this opportunity. They started marketing yogurt as a breakfast staple, as being a low healthy fat snacker meal or a gut-friendly choice. While the right plain yogurt has legitimate benefits, and I'll go over the ones to look out for, most commercial yogurts exploded with flavor varieties, sweeteners, and additive-packed versions. So although the right type of yogurt could be gut-friendly, what many people are eating is far from healthy. The consequence, because we assumed yogurt equals healthy, many consumers eat it blindly, ignoring sugar content, artificial additives, flavorings, texture agents, and more. And here's what's hiding in your commercial yogurt. Number one, a lot of these yogurts are hidden sugar bombs. Many flavored yogurts have added sugar. For example, flavored yogurts may have 18 to 21 grams of added sugar in a single 5-ounce cup. That's equivalent to 4 teaspoons of sugar. This is important because high sugar intake feeds pathogenic gut bacteria and yeast and shifts microbiome balance. It fosters bloating, gas, and inflammation. Also, for those over 45 or those who are insulin resistant or overweight, blood sugar spike surge from healthy yogurt, which undermines metabolic health, promotes fat storage, especially that deep visceral organ fat, and inflammatory signaling. The second issue with these commercial yogurts are additives, artificial sweeteners, and texture/fruit at the bottom. We'll call this trickery. Yet many yogurt products include texturizers like gums and starches, artificial flavors or colors, fruit purees with sugar, and you've seen them, fruit at the bottom layers. When you load up on these emulsifiers and gums and texturizers, you compromise your gut lining integrity. Think leaky gut. This impacts microbial diversity and increases irritation of the gut lining. Many flavored yogurts also use artificial sweeteners that can also spike insulin and irritate the gut, such as sucralose and aspartame. And even sugar alcohols, which in general are not that bad, but for some people, they get bloating and are sensitive to this. Especially the low-fat variety yogurts have these artificial sweeteners. And the reason is because when they remove the naturally occurring fats in this yogurt, it's not going to taste so great. It's going to taste like cardboard. So what they do is they replace it with either real sugar or artificial sweeteners. It's important to understand that your gut is inhabited by trillions of bacteria. An imbalance can lead to increased intestinal permeability, that word again, leaky gut, elevated endotoxin load, which is essentially toxins in your bloodstream, systemic inflammation, which leads to brain fog and mood shifts. When you feed the bad bugs via sugar and additives from these commercial yogurts and deprive the good bugs via lack of real live cultures or destroyed cultures through heating and processing, you create low-grade chronic inflammation. The most common symptoms people experience when this happens is persistent bloating, brain fog, unpredictable digestion, fatigue, skin issues, stubborn weight around the belly and the waist. And despite yogurt's promise of healthy cultures, many commercial yogurts don't deliver meaningful probiotic counts or have been heated in ways that kill the beneficial bacteria. So you think you're healing your gut, but what you're doing is loading up on sugar additives and creating a weak microbial system. Now that you know how these fake yogurts, as we'll call them, can wreck your gut, let's flip it and discuss how yogurt should be used, when done properly, to actually heal your gut. What to look for, what brands and styles make sense, and what happens in your body when you pick the right type. First, let's discuss how to choose the right yogurt. Okay, you want to look for plain, unsweetened, full-fat yogurt. Look for high-protein varieties. It's typically going to list on the label Greek or Icelandic style. This supports satiety, metabolism, and muscle repair. Look for live and active cultures. You could actually check the label for live and active cultures. Sometimes it has a seal or specific strains like lactobacillus or bifidobacterium. You also want to look for a simple ingredients list. Milk, cultures, maybe a pinch of salt. That's pretty much it. You want to avoid a long list of gums, added sweeteners, and artificial flavors. I would always avoid the fruit on the bottom flavored cups because those are just sugar at the bottom of the yogurt. Now here's what the right type of yogurt does for your body, and I'm going to share a little bit later the 2 brands that I personally use when I shop at the supermarket. With a true live culture yogurt, you're actually delivering beneficial bacteria to your gut, which can support digestion, support nutrient absorption, reduce bloating, and improve microbiome diversity. The protein content helps with muscle repair, satiety, metabolic rate, which is key, especially if you're over the age of 45 when muscle loss and metabolic changes begin at this age. The minimal sugar or no additive approach means less fuel for pathogenic bacteria, which we'll call bad bugs in the gut. This means less of an insulin spike, less gut lining irritation, overall lower inflammation. Over time, this means fewer digestive upsets like gas, bloating. This means clearer brain, less brain fog, reduced visceral fat accumulation, and better energy and mood. Now, yogurt used this way becomes a tool, not a conventional snack or trickery. So let's say, for example, you're in the habit of eating low-fat strawberry yogurt, which on average has about 20 grams of added sugar, artificial sweeteners, and little mentions of cultures. You might be experiencing bloating, brain fog, and weight gain around the belly. Let's say you switch to organic, full-fat, grass-fed Greek yogurt with live cultures. No added sugars. If you want it to be a little bit sweet, you add a few blueberries. Over the course of just weeks, you will notice less bloat, better digestion, more consistent energy, and reduced waistline. So here are some practical swap ideas you can make right now to get the best yogurt out there. Swap 1. Dump flavored yogurts and replace them with plain yogurts and add your own toppings. If you want to sweeten it, you could add some fresh berries. You could drizzle some raw organic honey. You could even add stevia or monk fruit as a natural sugar replacement. Swap 2. Use yogurt as a recovery/post-workout tool for gut and muscle. After your workout, instead of a sugary protein bar flavored yogurt, have plain yogurt, 20 to 30 grams of protein with the berries. This supports muscle repair and gut health. Swap number 3. Use yogurt as a gut-friendly breakfast or lunch ingredient instead of convenience yogurt. When you eat plain yogurt layered with, let's say, avocado, cucumber, lemon, or even olive oil, believe it or not, it actually tastes pretty good. Instead of yogurt with granola and sweetened fruit at the bottom, this gives you healthy probiotics, healthy fat, fiber, and avoids a blood sugar spike and avoids gut irritation. Now, bonus tips for you before I get to the questions you submitted on this topic and share my 2 favorite brands. Here are some bonus tips of implementation for you to really win the game of yogurt here. So number 1, read labels as we discussed. Aim for less than 5 grams of added sugar per servings in a short ingredient list. Number 2, choose brands that list the cultures and have live active cultures seal. Number 3, avoid low-fat, fat-free versions that compensate with sugar. Number 5, track your results after switching and pay attention to your digestive health, your energy, and your fat loss. Now, before I get to your questions, I want to give you a free, valuable resource. Look, you've been lied to. Some of the healthiest vegetables you eat every day are silently wrecking your gut, inflaming your body, and locking fat around your belly. I put together a free guide breaking down the 5 vegetables you must avoid if you want real fat loss, and what to eat instead for a metabolism reset that works really fast. This is the truth your doctor will never tell you, but your belly fat already knows. Click the first link in the description box right below this video, or hey, if you're watching on YouTube, scan the QR code to grab your avoid list now. Less inflammation, less confusion, and a lot less belly fat in 7 days or less. Now let's address your questions. What about Greek versus regular yogurt? Is one always better for gut health, or does it depend on the person? Well, Greek yogurt is made by straining out more of the liquid, the whey, the lactose, and the sugar. This gives it a thicker texture. It also has a higher protein content, which I actually prefer, and it's lower on the carbohydrate end. So I actually prefer this because it's better for blood sugar balance, insulin. Regular yogurt, on the other hand, tends to contain a wider range of live beneficial bacterial strains, but a little bit higher on the lactose end, so a little bit more sugar. If you do have a sensitivity to lactose, you might want to stick with the Greek yogurt versus the regular yogurt. Now, I mentioned that I would share the two brands that I use when I go to the supermarket in the United States. The two brands that I use, number one is Maple Hill. They have 100% grass-fed yogurt, plain unsweetened. And then there's Alexandra Family Farms. This is actually my preferred option because it is certified regenerative farms, 100% grass-fed, and they use A2 cows, which, without getting too complicated, that's a healthier version or healthier cow than A1 cows. Now, the best thing to do is to go to your local farmer's market, and if you could get raw yogurt, that's amazing. Now, what do you do if you are sensitive to lactose, if you're lactose intolerant? Then you could get goat or sheep yogurt, or even goat and sheep kefir. Those are two good options to replace cow yogurt. Can dairy-free yogurts like almond, coconut, or oat-based actually improve gut health, or are they just marketing hypes? I'm not a big fan of dairy-free yogurts, especially if it's almond or oat-based. Almonds have these anti-nutrients called oxalates. Not a big fan. Oat-based yogurts will spike insulin. Now, coconut would be an exception. It's not going to be as beneficial as cow, sheep, or goat yogurt. But if you could get an organic, unsweetened coconut yogurt where they have added some live cultures, that is an acceptable option. But I would say cow, goat, and sheep yogurt would be far superior than the dairy-free varieties. Can yogurt trigger acne, sinus issues, or other inflammatory responses even if it's plain and unsweetened? It can. Some people are really sensitive to cow dairy and lactose. So if you feel like you've made the switch to organic Greek yogurt or plain yogurt unsweetened and you're still having some of these issues, then make the switch to goat and sheep yogurt or kefir, and you should notice those symptoms mitigate. That's the lowdown about yogurt. I hope this made a big difference in your life. Please share it with somebody you know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And hey, if you love this lesson, you're going to love a recent video I just published on the 5 butter brands I avoid at all costs and the 2 brands that won't poison you that I shop for all the time. Here's a clip from that lesson. Click the video on the screen, and hey, I'll see you in that next lesson. Corporations realized butter was back in style, and they wanted in. But producing real butter from grass-fed cows cost money. So they found ways to stretch the product, blending in seed oils, GMO soy lecithin, or even changing the moisture or fat ratios just enough to pass